and it's amazing. I'm in the motherland, and this is a dream of mine that's been a long time coming. Hi, everyone, and thank you for watching. So, long time no see. Long time no see. So right now, I'm in a place where I didn't really decide to go to, but it's near where I decided to go to, and it's a long story on how I got here. So it's not the exact entry point to where I wanted to go, but I'm here, and it's amazing. I'm in the motherland, and this is a dream of mine that's been a long time coming. I've been working on this for about 20 years. Things would just keep happening where it just wouldn't work out. It just wouldn't happen. And I guess the timing is now. And I've been here for a couple of weeks now. So in this video, I would like to talk about manifestation. And what type of manifestation? 369 manifestation. You know, the cliche thing that people like to talk about, 369 manifestation. It's not necessarily cliche, but I come saying it's cliche because a lot of people speak about it, but they don't really know what it is, or they just kind of make it into something of what they want it to be, which I may do also here, but you know, who's to say I'm wrong? I'm gonna speak my experience, and hopefully it makes sense to you, because it makes a lot of sense to me, which is why I'm talking about it, and I'm putting it all together and laying it out in this format. So I made a video about 2 years ago, and that video was about manifestation, and I guess you could say it was 369 manifestation, but that was a 3-level video. You have 3, 6, and you have 9. So that was a 3-level video. And if you know about numerology and symbolism of numbers and symbolism period, 3 is a wish number. A 3 is a mind number. It's before something from the mind goes into reality. It's where things come from that come to fruition. They all start in the mind. So with 3-level, that's when you're talking about writing down your intentions, speaking things into existence, thinking about things. Those types of ways to get information out and turn it into tangible, give it tangible form. So that was a 3-level video, and I guess I need to talk about the things that I was talking about in that video. I guess I'll talk about things that I didn't really discuss in that video, because I was very vague and I was cagey, and it was for a reason. And I'm gonna be cagey in this video as well to protect my my personal business, protect people that are involved, and keep a lot of things confidential. I can't say everything about myself. I would love to share as much as I could, but you can only share so much before it begins interfering with your life or someone else's life and someone else's free will. So that's if I'm cagey, that's what's going on with that, and I apologize in advance. So in the previous manifestation video that I made, it was 369, but it was a 3-level, and I'm going to talk about these the 3-level, the 6-level, 9-level, but this video is about the 6-level. I'm going to focus on the 6-level, but in order to talk about the 6-level, I need to talk about the 3-level first. So back when I did that other video, I didn't call it a 3 video, but that's pretty much what it was. And you can check it out, and you can you can think into it as you may, for based on what you believe in or where you're at at this point and you're learning about this, or just trying to understand this. So with that video, or that at that time, what was going on was I was at a point in life where things were okay. Nothing was bad. There was no big problems or anything. Actually, things were going pretty good compared to how wild they got a little bit later. But at that time, I didn't want or need anything. I was able to do things that I desired to do, and nothing was blocking it. I was very free in a lot of different ways, but I guess I got complacent, and I had gotten used to what I had, so I wanted more, and I began to desire more. And I felt like, is this it? Is this it? There's got to be more to this. So what I did was I began to put together some of the practices that I had talked about so much on my channel, and that I had learned about myself, and that was about the interaction between the mind, reality, the spirit world, and anything non-reality interacting and making real reality. I like to discuss that topic, and it's when you start talking about this type of thing, it goes into the woo area, the magic, where people, no one, people begin to question your sanity, and say, nah, that can't happen, and this and that, because you can't immediately tangibly prove it, or you can't open it up and find a source on something. But with sources, how can you find a source if something's ahead of everything else, when the science is not, it's undiscovered? Because I call it science. When you start talking about all the spiritual things and the things that are beyond comprehension, to me is just science that hasn't been given organization yet. Because if you you think about anything, like even what you're doing right now, you're watching me from some other part of the world, to give my thoughts about you know about whatever, and you may never ever meet me in life. And it's like magic, actually. You're looking at it through a screen, through a magic screen. You get my point. Like this, like what's happening now, it, 100, hundreds of years ago, this would be just straight magic. But now it's science. It's just straight science now. So that's why I consider, when you talk about the spirit world and those types of things, it is science that's ahead of its time. And I want to be one of the forerunners who talks about this and goes into it and tries to learn about it and pioneer this thing. And of course, I can only start from the position that I am and with the information that I have. So that's what I do. So I'm doing this right now in the form of, I guess, storytelling to get my point across. But back then, I made the 3-level video. With the 3-level video, I said I had everything. Everything was pretty good. Everything was going well for myself. It wasn't perfect. I had issues just like anybody else, ups and downs, highs and lows. But at that time, I was on a vacation. The plan was like a 6 to 9 month vacation, and even just being able to do that is a really great thing that I tended to overlook at that time, until I got in a situation where I wasn't able to do that. Everything blocked me from doing that. I'm talking opportunities, finances, responsibilities. A lot of things blocked me from that for quite a while, the past couple of years. And part of it made me really just go into taking care of my life, and I backed away from the channel for a little while. But back during that time, I decided to let me alter reality. Let me see what type of power that I have to manipulate reality. How much power do I have with that? And the answer to that, before I even go into it, is you have a huge amount of power. The power is immense. Your ability to interact with reality and change reality. I'm just gonna say that, and I'm not gonna tell you how or explain how, but I'm just gonna put that out there and keep going with what I'm talking about. So at that time, I decided to basically cast a spell, or use my mind to change change reality. Those types of things, things that people, you can't do that. That's crazy. That's what you'll hear when you start, and you'll probably get ignored. But what I did was every morning I was in beautiful Cambodia, one of my favorite places to go to, and because it's for a lot of reasons. It's on the ninth latitude. It's close to the sun. Uh, it's not overly expensive. You have natural abundance in food and what you need and everything. The situation for the people could be better. I guess the how well the country is run and how that works. Um, I don't know everything about it, but I'm just gonna say it could be better. I'm not gonna comment on it because it's not something I understand well. But I was there, and from my position, everything was going really, really, really well. I was in a position to do that. And what I decided to do was I decided to wake up every morning and speak my dreams, my demands into existence. And, you know, you, this is something that people don't realize that they can do. And they have tremendous ability to do. And they actually have the power to do this. You can actually speak things into existence. And, you have to believe your words. You've probably heard this before. You have to really believe your words to make them powerful, or to make them more powerful. And after you believe your words, you have to act as if you believe your words. And in that case, you're not acting. You believe your words, and you're just following suit on what you brought into reality. So every morning I will wake up, catch the sunrise, sit down on the ground. I found a nice quiet place, kind of like here where I'm at right now. And I'm actually kind of wondering if this is a good place to be, because I think this is a school behind me, but I'm on the borderline of whether being on the property or not. I'll show you where I'm at. So that's behind me. It looks like a school, and I think this is a soccer field because I saw children playing on it yesterday. But and behind me is pathways and stuff, and the pathway got quite loud with people on motorbikes. Not loud, because it's much louder outside of here. It's ridiculously loud, and it's very difficult to. And you're moving around, you're dodging motorbikes, and it's hard to walk everywhere. Everything is really compact, and it's how everything's set up here. And the communities here, I guess they want to keep everything close and compact. I guess to keep everything safe is how it works. And if you look out here, there's a barbed wire fence, and beyond that, I guess it's blocking people off from whatever's out there and keeping everything separated. I guess there's a reason. I don't know. I haven't been here that long. I haven't been in this particular spot for not even a week. Not even a week. And I am on the 3rd latitude right now. I'm on the 3rd latitude. I went from the 9th a couple of days ago. I was in the 9th latitude. Now I'm on the 3rd latitude. So I'm like, three latitudes away from being as closest to the sun as possible. And to be even closer, you need to go higher up with altitude, and that's where this comes into play. I don't know if you can see that, but in the background, that is the 2nd highest mountain in the world. 2nd highest mountain in the world. And I probably won't hike it. I probably won't get involved because it's super expensive. I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'll see what's going on. But it's super expensive if you're doing it by yourself. You have a group. It gets cheaper, but it's still quite expensive, relative to who you are and what you have. But I'm digressing again. So what I did was every morning I would wake up and I would basically do mantras. I would chant and really just speak my mind into reality. I would take my mind I would focus it into a very real place. I would create a frequency with my mind. And that's one way how you change reality, interact with reality, by changing your frequency. And oftentimes it's difficult to keep your frequency where you want it to be, because everybody else has their own frequency. Everyone that's around you, they have their own frequency. It's affecting your frequency, and they can throw you off. Someone could, you could be having this really powerful, energetic, emotional sensation within you that you're changing the world with, and someone has something that's like water that puts your fire out. And that's kind of what this frequency thing is all about. And a big part of life is keeping your frequency the way you would like for it to be, despite other things outside of you affecting that or blocking you from keeping that. And sometimes some frequencies are good for you, some are not. And it's all about, at the end, it's all about what we want and us trying to get what we want or desire from this life and incarnation. So I'm digressing. My mind's scattered. But every morning I would sit down on the ground, Indian style, catch the sunrise, do my chants, do my mantras. And I did this every single day I was gonna do it for a month. The plan was a month, but I got to week 3. When I got to week 3, the things I was demanding into the universe, they started coming. They looked like they started coming. And they came in the form of, I started getting lots of emails and propositions for work. And that was like part of what I was asking for, or not asking. That's disempowerment. I was demanding from the universe. That was part of it. It was part of it, but there was a lot of other things. And of course, in the 3D, you need material things to happen, and in the 3D it's very slow. 3D is it's a very slow realm, and that's part of what dissuades a lot of people from following through on it, because with the 3D it's so slow, and it seems like things aren't happening. In your mind you can think of something instantaneously, and it can be, and those are higher dimensions of thinking. And in higher dimensions, things are instantaneously. Just like, for example, and I'm just using this for illustration purposes, you have the 4th dimension. With the 4th dimension, you can, if I'm not getting this confused, you can be in the present, past, the future, all at the same time. You can see all of this and experience this all at the same time. But in the 3D, you can only be in the present. You can only operate in the present, and anything that's outside of the present is not shared really by everyone else. And what I mean by not shared, you have to reference your mind in order to access those realities, whether it's the past or the present, but whether it's the past or the future. But the present, it's here, and it's undeniable, and everyone can see it, and everyone, you can't, no one's gonna deny it. It's undeniable with the present. You say, hey, see, we all experiencing this simultaneously in real time. You can't deny this. So at that time, back to my story, I'm digressing. At that time, the opportunities came, and it came through the form of emails, because really that was the only way to reach me from where I was at that point. I was not in my own country. I was basically alone, and my only access to the outside world beyond anything during that time was technology, the internet. So I got, suddenly, after 3 weeks, I got lots of correspondence and propositions to, like, for work. And again, work wasn't everything of what I was. It was actually a small percentage, or small. It was a small to a very small degree of what I was demanding from the universe. But because of the timing that had happened, it happened approximately 3 weeks of me doing my mantras, every morning, 20, 30-minute mantras, intensely, doing that. So three weeks came, and I got those opportunities came, and I was like, hey, it's here. I spoke, I thought all of this into reality, and it's here. And what you said, what you thought, what you said, these things you talk about all the time, they're true. You know, they're true, and they're here. This is a prime example. Like, why would all of these opportunities just show up like this if it wasn't true, based on the timing of when you did what you did? So I didn't. I told myself, don't second guess yourself. Don't second guess yourself. So I I did second guess myself a little bit, and the way I second guess myself is that I use divination to look into these options that I seem to have gotten, and the type of divination that I use tarot. You know, tarot is, you use symbolism to to know what's going on in places where you shouldn't be able to know in the third dimension, and it's a way of getting information that you wouldn't normally be able to get, but it's definitely a skill and something you have to learn how to do in order to get effective at it. It's something that you have to really practice and practice, study, and master, which I'm nowhere near that, but I try to learn. And not only that, I want to know anything that's in this field of knowledge. Again, I refer to it like it's actual science, even though there's no people coming to real agreements about it. Like when you start, thinking about it academically, and that's what people consider real. It has to be academic, where everybody agreed on it in the 3D. But that leads me to having to have to go to my or make or join other communities that deal with that, so that I can learn and deal with like-minded people who are, we're working together for a common goal, and we can learn together. Because it's hard to learn something when people don't believe, and people are not cooperating because they don't believe, or they don't want to believe, or it goes against who they feel that they are, or whatever their background is, or whatever their belief system is. If they feel it blocks that, or they feel that it's going to undermine that, then they back away, even no matter how real things seem. And it okay, so back to what I was talking about. So once I got these opportunities, I looked into them, and actually like 4 or 5 solid opportunities. Well, they weren't solid, but they were opportunities, and they look real good opportunities. And I read into them, and actually, through tarot, all of them were bad. All of them had bad energy. Like I was like, okay, these opportunities came at this time, but it's showing up in these tarot readings is like bad. And the absolute worst one, or the one that seemed to be the worst one, on the surface, it looked like the best one. The people I interacted with, I talked to, they represented themselves the best, and they had the worst energy. But I followed through on everything, and I went from one step to another, and I jumped over the cliff. I said, hey, you believe all the stuff you talk about? And I jumped over the cliff, or pulled the trigger, however you want to look at that. And literally, that's what it was like when I did that, because it changed my life. And when I say changed my life, I had to immediately vacate where I was at. So like in 1 week, I went back to my own country, which I had been away from for well over a decade. And I decided not to be around people that are in my old life, or the old life that I had, that I was still communicating with at the time, but still old life. And I decided I want to keep things confidential, and just kind of stay to myself. So I got in contact with a relative, a person that I felt that I was close to, that understood me, and that would stay impartial with me, that would never judge me or anything like that. And they would, they would just, someone that, it would be an unconditional respect and love type of a situation. So I went back through them, and I went back to a part of the United States, which was away from all of the rest of my family, but because he was they were isolated where they were living. Anyway, I went back there, and it was so great to be back, because I had been away for 12, 13 years, And it was so great to be back to see all the changes that my country had made and how things were so different. And even for the good parts and the bad parts, just seeing the change. It was great to see everything back again and seeing how things change, and also seeing how people changed in their interactions with me and my interactions with them, and me aging over that time, and seeing life through a whole different viewpoint. Because I left 20s and I came back 40s, so everything's way different. So when I got back there, my ally, my family person was on the surface looked like they were doing quite well in life. Looked like they got things together, and I was really proud for them. And a couple of months went by, and I was getting myself together, trying to establish. At that point I decided that I need to stay there. I didn't need to travel anymore. I needed to stay there and just ground myself, because what came into my life it was quite devastating. It was probably one of the lowest points in my life, and I just decided just to just focus on life and keep things realistic, and just live a regular life and go back to the Matrix and live to be a typical character in the Matrix, at least for a while, until I understand what had happened to me. But everything changed so fast. Like I got a job that was decent, nothing to complain about, but it was totally out of alignment with who I was, and I didn't last long at that job. And then me and that relative, we fell out quite immediately. He and I had completely changed from who we were, and I really had no idea who that person was, and I think they had no idea who I was. So it was best for me to just us to go our separate ways. I guess all that the time under the bridge, even though we kept in contact, through through technology, but in real life, it didn't work out that well. But anyways, all of this had fallen apart back in the United States. It's been like a three or 4 months, and I decided to go back and get help, or try to get help, or find out what resources are available to me, find out how the country works, and what I had done as a citizen in that country, what things were owed to me. Because everyone is owed something. That's your country. Your country has a system where they reward people for certain things that they do, and they take away from people that aren't doing certain things. There is a reward system no matter where you go. People say there's no social credit system here. There's a social credit system there. There's a social credit system everywhere. Every government is set up so that certain people are rewarded and certain people aren't, based on the values that they have for that society. And a lot of people don't even realize that. And the U.S. is no different. So what I discovered was that there were a lot of things that that I had missed from being gone for so long, and also people kept these things from me, like a lot of resources that were missed. And I learned this through reaching out for help, and trying to get the help. And by trying to get the help, I found out that not only I found out that by getting help, that a lot of things were I was entitled to. They were owed to me, and I was intentionally kept from knowing these things. And fast forward, and I'll get on with the story and start talking about sixth level manifestation. Long story short, about 6 months into going back to the United States, and just going back to the regular Matrix life, I realized exactly why I was sent back. I realized exactly what had happened. And even though a lot had been taken from me from what got me back here, and what just kind of destroyed me for a moment, I realized that what was available to me was way bigger than that. And I realized that that was the manifestation that I demanded, and that's the manifestation that I got. But it had to create, a what's a good word to put it? A event of devastation in order for me to go back. Because honestly, I probably would have never gone back unless something like that had happened. So it looked like it was a setup from somewhere bigger. I'm pointing at the sky to symbolize, you know, whatever you want to call that to be. I don't like to, start saying, the G word. I don't even like playing with the G word. It's, you know what I mean? So, it's too many. People have so many thoughts about it, and it triggers. So it's an emotional word for people. So that's my reason. But I'm very well aware of it, and I just don't like saying that word for many different reasons, if you know what I mean. But 6 months in, I realized why I was back and what I had to do, and I also realized it was not going to be easy, and it was not easy. And a lot of other opportunities kept coming up, and a lot of like very difficult tests kept coming up. A lot of things just seemed just like you can't win, but nothing. I would never fail to the point of just things being unrecoverable. And it would be just like you would drown and then you would be saved again. You would be almost about to drown and you will be saved again, or there would be a life raft after, as I called it in my other video. But a lot of opportunities open up. One opportunity that I'll say, I ended up going back to college. It was for a third college degree, which seemed kind of unnecessary, but that's what I decided to do because the opportunity came up, and the opportunity was pretty much free. And the opportunity was it was actually a once in a lifetime opportunity. And even by doing that, I thought I was just kind of wasting time because I kind of learned what schooling system is it's training your mind on how to think, and it's not necessarily giving you useful information all the time. I'm not dumping on the education system. All knowledge is a great thing, and it's what you do with it that matters, not what it is. But at the end of the day, it is training. It is trying to make you into a certain type of a person and take you away from your own vision, your own sense of purpose, or what you're supposed to be doing while you're here for your own specific incarnation. So went through that. So even the schooling was extremely difficult because I haven't touched, like, for example, I haven't touched math in since almost 20 years. I haven't touched high level math in almost 20 years. So I went back to doing that, and what I was doing was very heavy in math. It was computer related degree. It was super heavy in math, and it was just an extreme struggle, and I barely got through things, but I didn't fail anything. I never gave up, no matter how hard things got, no matter how much sleep, no matter how big of a toll it took on my health, and it did take a huge toll on my health, but I got rewarded for my effort because a lot of things I didn't learn as much as I should have, and sometimes I didn't really pass, but there would always be a person, like, for example, that would see, okay, this person gave this tremendous effort. There's no way I can fail him. No one's gonna put that effort like he just put in. There's no way I could fail him. That actually happened one time for a very difficult class, and I got through all of my classes, and there was a learning curve. I learned how to study and how to get by, even when I didn't actually learn anything. I learned how to get by and at least get good grades, even if I didn't learn anything. So, a lot of that was going on, and I was dealing with legal systems, not me getting in trouble, but things related to legal systems and paperwork, and actually clashes with authority that would just be test after test. And it was so weird because I was a recluse, a person that stayed to themselves. And at that, and even now, this point in life, I have a lot of 12th house, not a lot now, but some very heavy 12th house transits going on. If you understand astrology, 12th house is the spirit world, it's the mind fantasy world, it's faith-based reality, it's non-reality, uh, it's it teaches you about mistakes that you're making in life that sabotage you from having a better life. It's a lot of different things that seem quite disparate, but I say all that to say that the 12th house it's not a party, it's not a party place, it's not a fun house. It's actually quite serious. And the sixth house is across from it. Sixth house is the duty that you have with that, the physical 3D duty. And I guess you could look directly across from the sixth to 12th. And the 12th house is your spiritual duties, a way to look at it. And I'm saying this, I'm oversimplifying this, and I have to for the sake of keeping this video within scope. Anyway, my whole point is saying that I have some very huge 12th house transits going on. I still do. Got Saturn there, so it's a responsibility one. I have to. You get rewarded by how much you suffer, how much work you put in, and not giving up. So, and this Saturn in the 12th, or Saturn in Pisces it's heavy. It's heavy, and it's not fun. So that's what I was dealing with. And oh yeah, isolation is another huge one. I've made a video about specifically about the 12th house, because I wanted to share my experience about that. So that's simultaneously happening while I'm going through this manifestation cycle. And another thing that I learned upon getting back, which was, I guess, a part of what I demanded from the universe with the manifestation demands that I put on the universe, was that like with the astrology, I learned that for example, okay, so I was back in the United States. I was able to get my true authentic birth certificate once I got back. So once I got that, I don't know why I did it. I just kind of did it just to do it, just to have it in my possession. And I hadn't had it in like 15 years. So I assumed I knew my correct birth date, but I did know my correct birth date, but the time was off by like 4 hours, and that made a huge difference in what's going on in my birth chart and how I look at it. It could still help me see certain things by being off 4 hours, but by making the time more exact, it made the information more exact. And I learned a lot of, it straightened up a lot of things. And one thing it straightened up was the reason why I wasn't able to see the big problem that came up. I wasn't able to see the big problem that came up and like see the astrology of it, because that was off. Had I had my correct birth information, then I would have seen that this is not a good time to do what I was doing. So now I got a course correction, and this would help me in the future in further divination and further looking at things. And also throughout the whole process, I was heavily dependent on that information, on that birth data, that birth information, kind of guide me through things and see what to watch out for and place my timing on a lot of things. I was very exact in looking into this information, and I try to stay as precise as possible. But a lot of it is still you're still reading through things, and you're understanding it through your understanding at the time, and your understanding is never complete. It's always just getting better. It's never as good as it ultimately will be. So all the way to the end, like even at the end of my time back in the United States, I'm finally free. I'm finally free. Even all the way to the end, it was problem after problem, difficulty after difficulty, but everything worked out. everything would ultimately work out, but it still doesn't take away the strain and stress and the gray hair and the, just having to like, all the time. You know what I mean? Like, okay, got to do this, don't want to do this, got to do this, don't want to do this. Like even right now, in the middle of a lawsuit, something that I just had no control over. Someone did something to me, and I have to stand up for myself. In the middle of that right now, even though I'm out of the country, gonna finish that up in a couple of weeks from outside of the country remotely. It's wow. So it's just been a bunch of just nonstop, stuff going on while I'm trying to manifest. And what I've learned with manifestation is that your demands are going through. The reality is creating opportunities for you. So when you make your demands, the opportunity is created by the universe. And once the universe creates those opportunities, you have to act on them and go with them, and even see those opportunities for what they are. And that's a big part of believing and having faith, which is another 12th house thing, having faith and believing. And I just mentioned I have Saturn in the 12th house, and Saturn is tests of faith. And you're probably thinking, faith of what? Faith of the G word, faith of a God, faith of your reality, your existence here. Yeah, faith of whatever you believe in, whatever you think is running the show. Faith in that, or faith in the universe, or faith in you being here, and faith in believing that you have actual control and you're not just a victim. So, it's a lot. I'm unpacking a lot here because there's a lot to unpack. But I finally got out of the United States. I was in the United States for 2 years and 4 months. Kind of got stuck there. It's just not me. It's just not me. And when I got out, again, 12th house transit at the North Node in my 12th house, and right prior to me leaving the United States, the North Node went from the 12th house to the 11th house, and I have the sun right on that border. I have the sun on the border of the 11th and 12th house. So what that kind of means is that the way I express myself, my ego, and the way I put my light out to the universe, it's partially in the unseen world, and it's partially in the future-driven. How do we call the 11th house? It's your wishes, your dreams, hopes, desires. So I have it straddled in that line. And it's the whole journey of learning about yourself. And I advise you, not advise, I can't advise anyone. I encourage you to learn as much as you can about yourself in this regard, the same way you learn as much as you can about yourself with your health, and through academic books, and through talking to people and understanding how money works, and financial literacy, and understanding science and everything in the real world. The same way you put your knowledge and understanding into learning that, it's really important to learn yourself on a divine level as much as you can. That's why I try to learn all the magic. I'm with all the magic. I want to know all about it, because ultimately I want to know how it ties together and see what this bigger puzzle is trying to look like. So that's what happened. That's what happened with the manifestation for me, and me using that 3-level manifestation. I put my words out, and I wrote things down, and I was very intentional about them. And then the universe was listening, and the universe, boom, opportunity. Put the opportunity in front of me, and it was up to me to believe it, no matter how scary it's gonna look, or how how much you don't want to believe it. You told the universe to bring it, and they brought it, and don't run from it. And that's the situation that I came to. So now I say all that to say, let's talk about 6th-level manifestation. Now, we talked about 3. So with 6th level manifestation, this is more about the universe answered your demand or wish. If you go off of wishes and you outsource your power and you say your God or whomever is handing things to you and you're accepting and you take that submissive role, no problem. But when where was I going with this? So with 6th level, your the demand, the situation has been brought to you. So now it's up to you to act on the situation and take the opportunity and go with the opportunity and follow it and use it, manipulate it to get what you're manifesting. So when you're doing, once that comes to you, you're out of the 3 level because it's here. Now you're at the 6th level. At this point of 6th level manifestation, this is where you have to match the energy of what you are desiring to become or what you're desiring to get. It's about matching that energy. And how can you match the energy? Well, this is very, very difficult. It seems easy, but it's very difficult when you start looking into it and trying to understand it. But matching energy is about things like that. What's very difficult, and I'm beating around the bush trying to think of the best way to say this without sounding too harsh or too, not human. But you may have to remove people from your life that are not resonant with the energy that you are pursuing or with what you're becoming. You may have to remove these people, and some of these people may be people that you absolutely freaking love. And I had to do that. I realized that a lot of people were just blocking my dreams, blocking my wishes, blocking my manifestation. Everything I say, they got to be on an opponent to it. They got to go against me, or not meet me halfway with what I'm saying. Like I'm using my mind just like everyone else in this universe, and I'm trying to figure things out. And when you have other people, they're trying to figure things out too. The least you can do, and that goes for myself also, is to try to meet them halfway, not just shoot them down. Who are you to tell them what they see, and what they see is not real or wrong? You meet them halfway. That's the best, in my opinion, the best way to learn from someone else is to meet them halfway and encourage them to put their information out, because ultimately they are you. They are a fractal of what you are. They are part of your reality. They wouldn't be in front of you if they weren't something that you kind of are or actually are, or a piece of. So the least you could do is meet them halfway, or meet them as far as you can and understand them and take learning from that, or from who they are. So I was I got kind of fed up with these type of people, and people that secretly don't want you to do well, or just things, basically what I'm talking about here is people who you're swimming in one direction, and these people are creating waves going against you, and you can't keep going. And I'm gonna stop there with that. But that's one of the biggest things, because one of the most important resources that we have in existence is people. A lot of people think about resources as material things, but ultimately it's the people that are around you that give these resources value. We agree upon the value, and also the way these people think also influence and encourage the value of the things that we all share with one another. So I really had to evaluate the people that I was that were around me, and also the people that you allow to be your audience. You choose your audience, and if you got the wrong people watching you, it can really not work in your favor. An example, I'll give a really simple example. If you go to a rock concert, right? You go there and you're not pumped up and ready to rock and roll, then you're gonna be bringing the energy down of the whole room. You shouldn't be there. And if you're the rock band and you got some opera audience, they're not going to give you the reaction that you need in order to really rock the stage or do rock and roll things, or and vice versa. You got an opera band and you got a rock and roll audience, and you start doing your opera thing, they're going to go to sleep. They're going to go to sleep or whatever, or they're going to get loud and try and interfere with your opera. It goes against what you're doing, and you get my point. You know, choosing your audience just affects manifestation. A lot, you have to choose the energy that you want to put yourself in, and ultimately you can't necessarily change everything, but you can change a lot. You can alter a lot. You can choose the positions you want to put yourself in, and you have a lot of control in regards to that, far more than a lot of people realize. And for myself, for some reason I felt that I couldn't let people go. But ultimately, I realized if I don't let people go, I'm just gonna go through life, and my dreams are gonna just get drowned, or the fire from my dreams are gonna be just put out, because I feel that I gotta keep myself in a situation that's really outdated. It's like it's not the person that I am anymore, and you gotta be aware of yourself in terms of that, and knowing who you are and what stage of life you're at, and what you value at that stage in your life, and just constantly self-reflection, self-evaluation. So I'm talking about all this because, to talk about the sixth level. Sixth level is about resonance. It's about attracting and being all the things that you hope for and wish for, and you're demanding the universe to have. And in order for me to get a lot of things that I desired to have, that I just talked about, I had to remove a lot of people, at the very least temporarily. I don't know if it's forever. Forever is a long time, but I had to do that. I just felt it was necessary, or I guess a way of looking at it, if you want to become something you've never ever been before, you have to do something that you've never ever done before. And that was what I did. And some people are gonna think you've lost your mind, and maybe you have, but who's to say that's a wrong thing? Everyone's entitled to believe and feel how they feel, and you let them feel that way. And the same thing that I'm telling you that you may have to do to other people, they are doing it to you all the time. I think it's just a natural evolution of people and who they are, and just the whole cycle of life for every person. All of us, to a degree, share a certain cycle of life, just like all the animals in the animal kingdom. They have certain things they have to do throughout their life to complete their life, and they have the instincts that guide them through this whole process. And human beings aren't that much different, no matter how complicated that we like to think of ourselves, and like to say that other simpler creatures, seemingly simpler creatures, don't have this complication and complexity that we have. When they probably do, we don't. It's beyond understanding. But yeah, we all have a cycle. So that's one thing that about the sixth level manifestation. It's all about resonance. It's all about becoming what you seek to bring into your life, or what you seek to change. And the more you become that, the more powerful the transformation and the manifestation becomes. And this is one of the most difficult parts of manifestation to do, because it requires you to change who you are, and also remove things that don't belong in your current reality. So what else about sixth level manifestation am I missing here? So I said it's about resonance. So the number six, what's the number six about? Number six is about sharing. Number six is about sharing. It's about taking care and nurturing something. And it's kind of like, think of six as a pregnant woman. Six is a pregnant woman, right? The bottom of the six is it's the giving birth part. The giving birth, you're taking care of something, and you're taking care of it and bringing it to fruition until it's alive and given birth to. So it's really about nourishing your dream. Again, think about the 6 as giving birth, and think about 9. 3, 6, 9. The 9, what's the 9? It's a 6 upside down 6, right? And at this point, you've given birth, and now your head is big. The top part is big, and now you're full of thought, you're full of power, and you have heavy manipulative control over reality, because you have this immense amount of knowledge, because you're no longer nourishing and taking care of something, bringing a new life into fruition. At this point, you've brought that new life into fruition, and now you're controlling the reality, the reality of everything that you've brought into fruition. That's one way to look at that. And I haven't gone too far into the 9 for myself yet to really talk about it and give my take and what I view 9 level manifestation to be. But we'll look into it. We'll go into that deeper later. But yeah, that's my take on 3, 6, 9 manifestation. And I oversimplified this and talked about it as if like anybody can do it, which anybody can. It's all about the mindset. It's all about how you set yourself into life, and how having trouble wording myself here with this, but it's all about how much you believe in yourself, and how much you put effort into your own belief, your own reality. The more you believe, the more you will invest. And it works on each other. The more you invest, the more you'll believe. And you got to believe that. The more you put into your role, the more the people you come into contact with, they're going to believe you are the actor that you or actress that you portray yourself to be. And I'm speaking as if we're in a movie. And to a degree, we kind of are. It's a great way to look at it. And how convincing or how compelling are you in your movie is how big of a reaction you get from the other supporting characters, and how you're gonna make them more powerful in terms of who you are and the role that you play in the movie that you're in. So never forget that. Put tremendous power into your role, into your reality, in order to get the outside characters, or the characters that are interplaying with you in the movie, to bring out the best in them, or bring out the desired outcome in them by you being the greatest actor or actress that you are being. So I hope you learned something from my video. I love and appreciate you for watching. Again, long time no see. More to come. And we're gonna go in some very, not too different. I'm gonna stay in my lane, but I'm really gonna go deeper into some things, and we're gonna go down some paths that are quite unexpected and interesting, thought-provoking, entertaining, and hopefully you gain something from, you step away from my video a better person with a better perspective, or at the very least a wider open mind and more empowered. So I love and appreciate you all. Thank you for watching. And dreams do come true. You're looking at a dream that has materialized right here, and there's more things still materializing in the present, in real time, for myself. But this is one of them. You're seeing it. I'm in a quiet spot, but just being here where I am now is a heavy dream. And 2 years ago, this would have seemed impossible. So this is definitely manifestation at its finest. So thank you so much, and I love and appreciate you. Bye.